think all my services and everything are working. So give me just a minute and then we'll start talking about the game at hand. All right. Check mark on YouTube. Check mark on Facebook here in just a second. All right. Looks like we are live everywhere. So if you jumped on with me already, welcome to the game. Excited to be here today here in Stephenville. Get a chance, if you find yourself in Stephenville, drive by this stadium back here, kind of back behind Walmart and everything. It's really nice. I've been in some press box at some 6A stadiums, and I don't know that I've been in a nicer press box than this one here. They've done a really good job with it. Obviously, they have a really successful program, and they've been willing to invest in that, but it's pretty awesome up here. So, yeah, excited to be here. Okay, so both teams out on the field doing their final warm-ups, 20 minutes and 30 seconds to go before kickoff. Just a second, let me pass something over to one of my assistants here. Got the whole got my 3 youngest up here helping me out today, so hopefully it all goes well. But so a couple of differences. I'm sure if you've noticed, if you're watching, listening already, that the scoreboard is now kind of embedded in the stream there. So if you're watching the game on Facebook, YouTube, or SanSabaRadio.com, you've automatically got the scoreboard there for you. Was able to get that done this time. There's still a link to it on Facebook that I posted in my last post before I went live here. So if you just want the scoreboard separate, you can get it that way if you'd like it. But yeah, obviously a huge game here. Back in the semifinals in the last couple of years, kind of kept unfortunately getting knocked out a little earlier than the Coyotes are used to getting the round balls out. But kind of, and this is all just from what I hear over in San Saba. Didn't hear, for whatever reason, kind of as much buzz about this Coyote team kind of going into the season, and maybe that's a product of just a couple of years not being as deep in the playoffs as used to. But obviously there should have been more, because I'm not a 6-man connoisseur or anything, but watching the game that I did there in San Saba against Zephyr, it's pretty clear that it's a very talented team. And I mentioned it before too, just the participation levels of the kids over there in Richland Springs, that having as many kids as they do. It looks like Strawn has about the same thing, at a Division II 6-man school. Some of those schools struggle to scrape together 6 to get out on the field at all. So having that kind of participation really gives you the best chance, obviously, to be a good, put a good product out there on the field, just because, and you got about every boy in the school out there playing and wanting to be a part of it. So, we'll see what tonight holds. I can do a radio broadcast of the state championship game if we get to that point. I'll kind of address that later. Also, for anyone listening right now, kind of addressed it on Facebook. The licensing to get these games, the whole process of it, is a very frustrating process. And I'll admit, I got discouraged on trying to do video streams simply because pretty much every time that I've tried to do it, it's NFHS. NFHS has gotten the rights, because they're going to, if they want to do the game, they get the game. So, they've had a partner that's done every playoff game I've been involved with trying to do, and this being a state semifinal game, I kind of just said, well, it's not worth going through the waiting process of will they, won't they give me the rights, because I'm pretty sure they won't. So I just committed to an audio-only broadcast early on this week, and I wish I hadn't. NFHS, I guess, is not here, and there is no video stream of this game. So I do apologize for that. I wish that was different, and I wish that I was putting video out there for you today. But it is what it is. We're going to do as good a job as we can for you here. Something else I'm going to try to do, we're going to be filming plays on the side here, and trying to get some highlights posted on Facebook as the game goes, to kind of hopefully be able to keep you up to date to a degree on, being able to see what's going on. I can't do it live, but hopefully I can get close to live. If nothing else, I can take first half highlights and get them up at halftime. Unless, of course, it's a 45-point rule, and then we'll be going home then. But I don't think that'll be the case. I think this is a good, strong team. I think this will be a much better game than last go round. So, yeah. Do want to thank the sponsors that made this broadcast possible. Marcus Wood, attorney at law over in San Saba. Go see him. I know he does a lot of things. Does wills, estate planning, probate, does real estate law, and some criminal law as well. I think that's everything he's got listed there. So, yeah, great guy, great family. So if you have any legal needs, make sure to go see him. Hamrick's Automotive Center as well, chipping in to get this going. You need some repairs on your vehicle, come over to San Saba and take it over to Lynn, and he'll get you taken care of. Dalton Moats and Diamond M Dorpers. I am not a big ag guy, but if you are, I'm sure that you know more about Dorpers than I could possibly try and tell you here, so I'm going to leave that one there. And then Michael and Kimbra Hobbs as well. Again, all those people chipping in to make sure that we could get this out to you, covering all the various and sundry costs that come with trying to trying to get this out to you. So again, big thanks to them. Okay. Sorry, talking to one of my minions here, making sure that they're squared away. Yeah, so both these teams, one loss on the year, both to Gordon, both a pretty similar score line, I believe. So it kind of tells you the quality there. I don't think that Strawn's district is nearly so competitive as Richland Springs, and especially their early playoff games as well. So I think minus that Gordon game, Richland Springs is probably a little more battle-tested. I know that Oglesby was not a bad football team at all last week, and I know they came out of the gate pretty hot, and Coyotes were able to hang on, weather that storm, and make some good things happen, and then just really start ripping off the points, and again get to go home a little bit early in that game. So if that happens again tonight, great. But if it doesn't, we'll be here for the duration, regardless of what happens. So Coyotes out there already through the tunnel, all white uniforms as visitors today. Looks like blue helmets. Like I said, this is a bigger stadium. We're way up here, so should have brought a set of binoculars. I have one, but I didn't even think about it. Greyhounds. To be honest, I don't know where they went. I guess they went back to the locker room for a minute. They're not out here. I think they're in all black for today as the home team. And again, if you're with us, I appreciate you being with us. I know the audio's not as good as having video, but it's much better than nothing. And no one messes with my scoreboard. I know that if you get on the Dave Campbell's app, sometimes you get people on there that like to just go kind of wreak havoc and go change scores and confuse everybody. You don't get that on my scoreboard. I don't think Erin's going to be just pressing buttons and putting the wrong score up. I think she'll keep a pretty good track of everything. So, yeah. Just one second here. This radio or audio only is a different animal. When you got video, you got something to look at. When you don't have video, it's just dead air if I don't talk. It's not my favorite thing, but it is what it is. Oh, let me play a UIL, the UIL audio for you real quick, and then we'll be right back with you. Let me make sure the sound is on for that. All right, and here we go.
Are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Texas. This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
All right, and we're back. Again, UIL gives us a few clips to select from there, and I like that one as a former coach. I really do value the lessons that athletics and football in particular teach. Hang on, saying a prayer here. All right, and we're back from that. But yeah, definitely the lessons that football and athletics in general teaches kids. I've always said about football that one of the things about it is, and you don't really get the option to shut it down during the game. You don't really have much of a choice but to fight back when things don't go your way. The other sports, you can kind of shut it down and nothing bad will happen to you. Football, if you shut it down, that's when you get hurt, and that's when bad things happen out there on the field. So I think it's just a great life lesson there, man, that we all know that life's going to kick you in the teeth sometimes, and learning how to get back up and fight against that even when it's not going your way is one of the most important things you can learn in life. So again, big fan of that audio for that reason. We're at 7:35 to go before the game starts, and depending, sometimes that gets cut short. Being said, with that amount of time left, the Greyhounds are still in the locker room. So that's interesting. Looks like officials are knocking on the door. Kind of excited. I think I've got most of the key names down now on this Coyote team. So I've got my roster still, but I feel like I'm not going to have to stare down at it every time someone does something to make sure I've got the right kid. So that's kind of fun. Makes my job a little bit easier, not having to always reference that. Let me go ahead and read out, because this may be important for the Coyotes, as this is one win away from it, the state championship information that the UIL puts out and wants us to read out. Go find it. Here we are. All right, attention high school football fans. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be a part of Texas football history. Mark your calendars for the UIL State Football Championships, December 17th through 20th at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, where the best teams from 6-man to 6A leave it all on the field in the hopes of being named champion. For the latest updates and ticket information, head over to uiltexas.org/football. Again, that's uiltexas.org/football. All right, we've dipped under 6 minutes to go. Greyhounds have at least sent out their captains. The rest of them are still hanging out behind their run-through. Coyotes all lined up across the 50-yard line, ready to walk their captains out as well, and here we go. Captains for the Coyotes. Number 8, Ethan Deeds. Number 0, Cohen Etheridge. Number 17, Billy Perry. And the official's going to stand in front. Number 3, Rush Norris. I would tell you who Strawn's captains are, but I couldn't find a roster for them anywhere online, so I don't know. But that's not what you're here for anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter that much. If we run into any technical difficulties or anything, feel free to comment. I know you can't on the website if you're on SenSabRadio.com, but if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can throw out a comment there. Oh, and I was looking down and I didn't even see what happened there. The Coyotes won the toss. I was trying to get something figured out down here, and I believe, it's hard to hear, there's big thick glass out here, but I believe the Coyotes will be on offense first. I believe they chose to receive, but we will find out shortly enough. All right, so there, the Greyhounds have finally decided to make their way out onto their sideline. 3:40 to go before kickoff. They'll play the national anthem here shortly, so I'll go silent for a bit while we have that. by the way, I would, I know that it's frustrating to not have a live video stream. What I will tell everybody, is that I know sometimes fans will want to do that, just pull out their phone and stream Facebook Live and everything like that. And in a perfect world, that would be great. The way the UIL puts their rules out, if you choose to do that, the school that you're kind of representing there can face punishment for that. I don't think they'd ever go so far, but up to forfeiture of the game. So I know I say that just because I looked, and I know that the Booster Club is live right now, for the pregame, and that's fine. But I know someone asked if they'll be live the whole game, and I would definitely, yeah. So they've ended their video. They're smart. I don't know who runs it, but they know they know it's against the rules. Everyone kind of needs to know that. They don't always. It's not always a well publicized thing, but they can actually punish the team for fans doing that sort of thing, and it's frustrating. But here we are. All right, so about to have our kickoff here. Greyhounds huddled up behind the football, sorting out their kickoff. Coyotes ready here. It's a kind of a tight kick formation, 3 to the right, 2 to the left. And it's going to be an onside kick to start. And it's going to bounce around, and the Coyotes are going to fall on it. Just a collision of bodies there in the middle of the field. That's Etheridge falling on it, and he's going to take it at the 32 on the Coyote side of the field. So that's where we'll start this thing off. Coyote football, 1st and 15 at their own 32-yard line. Ball about halfway between middle of the field and the right hash. Coyotes come out under center, 1 to each side of the center, split backfield. It's Deeds under center, and he's going to toss it to Perry going left, who's going to get his legs cut out right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. All right, ball is spotted now on the left hash again, still on that 32-yard line. 2nd and 15 for the Coyotes, coming to the line now. Looks like it's going to be the same formation here. Here's a snap and a toss going the other way to Etheridge. He's going to tuck it, cut it back to the Coyote sideline, cut it back to the middle of the field, spinning out of a tackle all the way down to the 20-yard line of the Greyhounds. He was looking to throw initially, saw a lane through the middle of the field, cut it back to the Coyote sideline, then back to the middle, broke a few tackles, and all the way down to the 20-yard line. An explosive play for the Coyotes, puts them into that, I don't know if Six-Man still calls it the red zone, but I'll call it the red zone. All right, so under center now, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, 1 back in the backfield. Here's the snap and the handoff, toss, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of hard to see from this far away to the center. It was Perry on the, or no, slot. He was the slot back. He was to the left of the quarterback. Just a little quick hitter up the middle to Perry. Is now, that's a gain of 11 down to the 9-yard line. 2nd and 4 coming up. Same formation, same play. Greyhounds are on it this time. That's going to be maybe a gain of 1 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and we'll call it 3. All right, at the 8-yard line. Here come the Coyotes. That same formation, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, kind of in a slot. That's Perry. Here's snap and a handoff going right to Perry. A flag on the play. It's going to be a loss of 1. But it looks like there's going to be offsides on the defense as the signal, so that's going to be a first down then for the Coyotes on the penalty. So a big break on that play. It's going to be first and goal now from the 4-yard line. Big break there. That play was going to be a loss, going to bring up a fourth down. Greyhounds with the pre-snap mistake. Give the Coyotes 5 extra yards. And come to line, going to stick with that same formation here. Ball's in the middle of the field. Here's the snap. Toss left to Etheridge. He's going to look to pass. Now scrambling back this way. Ball's going to be caught, but it's going to be a loss. No, it's going to be caught right at the line of scrimmage. So, didn't see who made that catch, but it's going to be no gain on the play. Second and goal. Yeah, it looks like actually a gain of 1 on that play. So second and goal from the 3 for the Coyotes. Bring the play in. They're in the huddle. Coming up to the line. Still sticking with that same formation here. No, now they're moving. Okay, shotgun formation here. The snap to Perry. The toss back to Etheridge. He fumbles it. He's trying to find some room down the Greyhound side of the field. He gets around the edge. And looks like he's going to be taken out of bounds for a loss of 1 on the play, but there is a flag. Looks like we may have a face mask or a horse collar on the defense there. Umpire threw it from about the 5-yard line, but I think the Coyotes may catch another break here, and it's a face mask penalty. That's going to move the ball to the 1.5-yard line. First and goal again for the Coyotes. Etheridge did a great job of just recovering to get back to the line of scrimmage on that play. That was a kind of a busted play with the fumble there. Motion here, under center, handoff going left to Perry, and he's going to get stuffed. That's going to be a loss of a 1.5 yards on the play. Back to the 3-yard line now, second and goal from the 3. Coyotes looking to run up the middle. They had some success on the first time, but Greyhounds have done a good job kind of solidifying that, and there hasn't been much there on those little quick handoffs up the middle, so it'd be interesting to see how the Coyotes adjust to that part of their game plan kind of being stifled here. All right, we're going to spread it way out, 1 right, 1 left, 2 backs in the backfield. It's going to be snapped to Deeds, who's going to fumble it. It's going to go back to Etheridge. He's going to retreat. He's looking to throw the ball. He finally is going to throw it. It goes through Perry's hands and is caught by Deeds in the end zone. There's a flag on the play, but it looks like it's a sideline warning, looks like, on the Greyhounds. Touchdown is good. Sideline warning on the Greyhounds. So the score will be 6-0. In favor of the Coyotes, looking for their extra point try here to get that extra 2 points. I was curious about that because Deeds never had control of the ball, so when Etheridge picked it up, no, he can still throw. Never mind. There's my 6-man rustiness coming through. He's still allowed to throw the ball, but he couldn't run, and I think he figured that out. All right, so extra point operation out. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick is up, and good. So Evan Deeds with that extra point makes it 8-0 in favor of your Coyotes. 4 minutes in to the opening quarter of this game. So, so back to what I was saying, so the quarterback can't run, I'm sure all y'all are familiar with it, but the quarterback can't run unless someone else catches the ball and pitches it to him. And I think he realized that he didn't have that happen with the fumbled snap. Deeds never pitched the ball to him. Etheridge just kind of picked it up back there on his own. He was looking to throw, and then he kind of saw a lane and tucked it for a second, and I think realized that he couldn't run on that play. Found Perry, who was open, went through his hands and straight to Deeds, and That's how we got to where we are. 5:57 to go in this first quarter. Coyotes with the early lead, 8-0 over the Strawn Greyhounds. Here's the kickoff. A low bouncing kickoff. It's going to be fielded, and the Greyhounds will take over on their own 32. Coyotes tried to kind of push it wide and try and win a foot race to the ball, and they're unable to there. So the Greyhounds will take over on the left hash on their own 32-yard line to start their possession. Oh, looks like we got a flag on the play. I don't know if it was offsides or formation, but there'll be 5 extra yards for the Greyhounds, so they'll take over on their own 37-yard line, ball on the left hash. Here come the Greyhounds to the line, 2 to the right, 1 to the left, shotgun formation. The back standing to the right of the quarterback, drops back to pass off the snap, rushed, contacted on the play, had a man with a step deep, but overthrows him. That'll be incomplete. He took a shot on the throw. I'm not sure exactly who got through, but pretty quick pressure there by the Coyote defensive line. Forced a bad throw. Receiver wasn't wide open, but he did have some separation there. Able to complete the throw. So 2nd and 15. Same formation, shotgun, 2 to the right, 1 left, back to the right of the quarterback in the backfield. He's going to hand it off to the running back, and that's going to be Perry slinging him down for a minimal gain on the play. I think it's going to be a gain of 1. Kind of got a hold of the back of his jersey behind the line of scrimmage and hung on and slung him down, and it's going to be 3rd and 14 now for the Greyhounds. Just shy of midfield at their own 38. Perry coming into that kind of nose tackle spot. Getting some quick penetration. And again, same formation here, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Running back and quarterback in the backfield. Wide receiver to the right, split out wide, drops back to pass. Pressured, dumps it off to the running back who's got a little bit of grass in front of him. He's going to make a move, and he's going to get taken down just shy of the first down. He has a little kind of screen play. You had Rush Norris and I don't know who the other one was, applying pressure to the quarterback. They almost got him down before he was able to get the ball off. But as it stands, it's going to be 4th and 1 at the Coyote 29-yard line. Still having to translate these numbers out here. All right, so same formation here for the Greyhounds. Big play here, early going, 4th and 1. Here's the snap and a handoff going to the right, and he's swarmed under in the backfield. That's a loss of 6 on the play. You had Perry finishing the play off, and I can't tell who it was on the bottom of that pile. It's either Etheridge or Evan Deeds. Guy got the initial penetration, kind of made him stop, and then Perry comes over the top, makes the play, and the Coyotes take over on the turnover on downs at their own 33-yard line. So big defensive stop there. I know it's pretty hard to stop 4th and 1 in the 6-man game. Shotgun formation. 1 left, 1 right, 2 backs in the backfield. Snap back to. Oh, looks like we've got a whistle. Flag. And looks like we've got a false start on the offense. So the Coyotes will back up. It'll be 1st and 20 now at their own 28-yard line. That was just going to be the rear for the Coyotes anyway from what I saw against Zephyr. That was going to be just the rear snap it and drop back for the Coyotes there. Keep that same formation, 2 to the right, kind of 1 to the left in the slot. Then run back and quarterback in the backfield. Snap back to Deeds. He drops back to pass. He's going to throw it deep. He's got a man and slightly underthrown. He had Eli Hutchins deep down the field, had a chance to get it to him. Long throw and just underthrown. So now it'll be 2nd and 20. so taking some time to call the play here, down to 10 on the play clock. Hustle in, get the play called, get to the line. Shotgun to the right, one left. Pistol formation here. Here's a snap. Toss back to Etheridge. He's going to scramble to this Greyhound sideline. He's going to try and get around the corner, and he does. Breaks a couple of tackles. He's going to be out to the 38-yard line, getting a lot of that yardage back. It's going to make it 3rd and 10 now. So gain of 10 on the play, much more manageable down and distance here. From what I've seen, if you get probably half of it here, you're probably going to go ahead and go for it. I've learned that 6-man teams are not a big fan of the whole punt operation. I don't blame them. As an offensive coordinator, I don't like punting either. Under center, 2 right, 1 left, 1 back in the backfield. Going to toss it back to Etheridge. He's got Deeds wide open. There he goes. Makes a move. He's going to have the first down and a few more to the 39-yard line. 29-yard line, sorry. Didn't translate the numbers again. All right, so 1st and 15 after a 2nd and 20. So good conversion there on these last 2 plays by the Coyotes. Ball's on the left hash again on the 29-yard line of the Greyhounds now. All right, shotgun, 2 to the right, 2 backs in the backfield. Going to be a quick pitch to Etheridge. He's got a lot of room off the right side. He's got a lead blocker in front, and he's going to take it to the house. The speed was too much. The Greyhounds couldn't close the gap, and that's going to be a 2nd touchdown here for the Coyotes to jump out to what currently stands as a 14-0 lead. So an extra point operation out on the field. Try and convert it to 16. All right. Here's the operation for the kick. Snap, hold, kick is up. And push just left. So the score will remain 14-0, 2:39 to go here in this first quarter. So you can tell this is again, all I have for this particular Richland Springs team to compare it to is their game against Zephyr, who is not the caliber that Strawn is, because you can tell that Strawn, they're still struggling with the speed, in particular of Etheridge, but there's been a lot more resistance to it than Zephyr was able to put up. Making him work a lot harder for those yards, and that was a good play design there. Very well blocked. He had Perry kind of leading the way to make the final key block on that run. What was, I think, a 28-yard touchdown run. Here at the end of this first quarter, I'll try and go back through and get some of these highlights posted. They probably won't be labeled because I'm just going to try and get them thrown up there for you, but got a few plays that I would say are highlight worthy. Here's the kick. It's going to be a squib kick down the middle. Strawn's going to field it at their own 33-ish and get a few yards out to their own 36. So near midfield. So really on that last possession, the Coyote defense was all over everything. That screenplay is the only thing that really had any success to speak of. Here's a snap. Dropping back to pass are the Greyhounds. Good protection there. He's got a man wide open deep, and just unable to make the play are the Greyhounds. He had probably about 5 yards on the defender. Ball was pretty well thrown and just kind of straight through his hands. So a big break there for the Coyote defense. Man open deep down the field, but no harm, no foul. Could be 2nd and 15, again at their own 36-yard line. Shotgun formation, 1 right, 1 left, 2 backs in the backfield. Here's the snap, dropping back to pass again. trying to throw it out in the flats, and that is Evan Deeds, the younger, with a good defensive play on there, right on him on the coverage, able to get up there and disrupt that attempt, and it'll be 3rd and 15. So the only thing that gives you a little bit of pause right now as a Coyote fan, probably defensively, is they have had a couple of opportunities deep where they've had a man. They just haven't been able to capitalize, which is good. But you got to keep an eye on that. Here's the snap. Just a toss right and tackled in the backfield by Etheridge for a loss of 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 on the play. Back all the way down to the 32-yard line. 4th and 19 now for the Greyhounds. They like that little just kind of, they toss it. It's really pretty much just a handoff in the backfield there. But they really like that play. It's kind of their bread and butter run play, it looks like. It has not gone well when they've run it against this Coyote defense. They've been all over that. If I was them, I might just stick to trying the deep ball and seeing if you can pop another one open, although I'm sure the Coyote defense will be making their adjustments and trying to make sure that does not happen again. So it looks like a timeout by the Greyhounds here with 1:40 to go in this first quarter. They have 4th and 18. I'd call it 19. But either way, 4th and a lot longer than you'd like it to be if you're a Greyhound fan. If you're a Coyote fan, you probably feel pretty good at the moment. So pretty good start here for the Coyotes. I'd say the only thing that hasn't been ideal is just the missed extra point, which it happens. That's one of the things I have noticed watching the 6-man game is those extra points are hard. I mean, you only got really 4 guys to try and block 6, so you got to get that operation going quick. Greyhounds have 3 to the right. It's going to be a snap and a toss back. It does look like they're going to go for it. He's under pressure, and he's going to be sacked by Evan Deeds all the way back at the 18, 19-yard line. A disaster on 4th down. Can't get a pass off, lose a bunch of yards, and give the Coyotes the ball in the red zone to begin with. Great job by the Coyote defense. Again, they've been able to, there's only one play, that last deep pass they made, there's only been one play where they were able to kind of keep the Coyotes out of the backfield and not allow them to apply pressure. Every other time, it's been big time. All right, spread formation here, shotgun, 2 to the left, 1 to the right, 1 back in the pistol. It's going to be a toss to Deeds, who is that back, and he's got blocking out in front of him. Etheridge out there blocking, and he's going to go in. Another touchdown in this first quarter for the Coyotes. Again, good blocking in front of him. You had Etheridge out there. I think you had Perry coming around. Hutchins out there. Got a lot of guys out there really taking that part of their job seriously, carving him a path into the end zone. Score is 20-0. Coyotes early in this game. A little late bringing the tee out, but here it is. Here's the snap, hold, kick. And that one's dead down the middle. You can tell he kind of got under that last one because it kind of floated and was slow getting there. I think just got drifted left. That one he really got a hold of, drilled it right down the middle. You can tell he can kick the extra points. I think he just miskicked the last one. So 22-0 your score, 1:26 to go in this first quarter in favor of your Richland Springs Coyotes. All right. Looks like the Coyotes have settled in really early here. See if the Greyhounds are able to get some offense going is really what's killing them. And I mentioned earlier that the Coyotes, you could see the game plan. They thought that little run up the middle was going to be successful. It was successful once and then pretty much stonewalled the rest of that drive. And so they kind of shifted gears to what they wanted to do, tried to attack the edges. Here's the kick, and a deep kick this time. almost over the head of all the Greyhounds. It's fielded at the 9-yard line. Broken tackle. And that, and it looks like we're going to have a flag. That is a tackle by number 14, Ian McInerney on that. We do have a late flag. It looks like he got kind of pushed off the pile by the Greyhounds. I'll be surprised if it's not a personal foul on Strawn here. For kind of coming in late. A little extracurricular there. Here's the official with the call. Dead ball. So they're calling offsetting penalties. So, I don't know. Maybe something was said by a Coyote down there. I didn't really see them do anything, but you never know. Sometimes emotions get high and people say things that they probably shouldn't say, and it gets you a flag. But no harm, no foul, offsetting penalties. So 1st and 15 at their own 24-yard line. 3 receivers to the right. Here's the snap. Drops back to pass. Looking for a crossing route over the middle. And just overthrown. Pretty good coverage there by Ethan Deeds. Would have had to have been a perfect throw to kind of get it in there to him, and it was not. So 2nd and 15 now for the Greyhounds. All right. Ball's on the right hash, again on their own 24-yard line are the Greyhounds. They're under center now in an I formation, one to the right, one to the left. Here's the snap, and it's going to be a handoff up the middle to the tailback, and that's going nowhere. That is Evan Deeds first in there on the legs, and then looks like Perry was the other one that came in. A loss of 1 on the play, 3rd and 60 now for the Greyhounds. Yeah, the run game is just not happening for the Greyhounds right now. I mean, they've been able to get nothing out of that, really. Again, they've had a couple of opportunities on a deep ball, and they had the one screen pass where they got some yardage. I mean, that's the only yardage play they've really had. So tough sledding here. Coyotes providing a lot of resistance to him. Under center again. Here's a toss going right. Ooh, and he does get the edge there. Etheridge is finally going to get him out of bounds, but that is going to be a first down, a gain of about 20 down to the Coyote 36-yard line. A little bit of a run fit issue on the outside here. You had, I don't know which Coyote it was. It doesn't really matter, but see, he kind of came up to try and set the edge and kind of debated which side of the block to go on. Tried to go to the inside of the block and got sealed, and that's what gave him the edge there. So sticking in that I formation, 1 right, 1 left, 2 backs in the backfield. Here's the snap. Going to bootleg out to the right. He's got no one. He dumps it off to the running back. 2 Coyotes run into each other. Flag thrown on the play. Cuts back to the middle. He's going to take it into the end zone. We'll see what that flag is. As it stands, that'll be a touchdown for the Greyhounds of 36 yards, but we'll see. And it looks like it's going to be on the Coyotes, so that's going to stand as a touchdown. So it looks like, yeah, they're going to call a face mask on the Coyotes on the attempted tackle there. Unfortunately, it had 2 run into each other. Either one of them probably could have made the tackle after a gain of probably about 12 on that play, but Greyhounds will set up for their extra point attempt here. Waiting for the officials to get in position. I was talking to the Greyhound coach on the sideline here. All right, ball's ready for play now. Snap, hold, kick, and it's good. So 22-8 now. 16 seconds to go in this first quarter. Coyotes still with a 2-score lead. See what they can do with the ball here. I'd expect maybe another An onside kick there. Guy like the Greyhounds tried to start the game. All right. So it looks like that. I don't think that's correct, but it looks like they're going to enforce that face mask penalty on this kickoff. It looks like the Greyhounds are going to line everybody up to the right. Definitely with an eye on an onside kick. They're going to bring them more back to the middle here. All bunched together. I think we're going to get that little just bouncer up the middle, try and just run into everybody and get the ball to bounce around. And it's going to be cleanly fielded by Etheridge. He's going to get the left side. He's going to take that all the way to the house. There's no one going to catch him. That's going to be a quick 6 points back on the board for the Coyotes. Make up for that touchdown. And that is going to be 28-8 in favor of the Coyotes. Yeah, they didn't. He kicked it a little too hard, and it just took a nice friendly bounce right into Etheridge's hands, and they were all worried about trying to just, smash into everybody there in the middle of the field and create some chaos, and he just took it around the edge, and there's no one left that was going to be able to get an angle on him. So, had a way to get the score back that you gave up. Here's the extra point attempt. Snap, hold, kick is up. And looks like that one is good again. All right, so 30-8. 7 seconds to go in this first quarter. Coyotes lead. Big answer there. You always want to answer. Baseball, they talk about shutdown innings. If you score, you want your pitcher to go out there and put a 0 up on the board, and I'm sure that's what Strawn was thinking too. We got something going on offense there. We got some points on the board. Let's go get a stop and get the ball back and try and cut it to 1 scores, and instead just a lightning strike and you're back down 3 scores. So see if the Coyote defense can kind of get back going. That's the only thing. It's that little dump off to the running back. I don't know if it's a design screen or that's just part of the offense, is that running back just kind of waits there as kind of an outlet for the quarterback. But it is something that's hurt the Coyotes twice now. So, again, it's always a chess match. You see what adjustments the coaches make. And Coyotes are lined up for the kickoff. Officials stopping up play for a second. All right, now we're ready. All right, and a squib kick down the sideline. It bounces out of bounds, the Greyhound sideline. So that'll be a flag on the Coyotes for kick out of bounds. Greyhounds will have pretty good field position to start their possession here. So, I say they have good field position. This is probably actually the worst field position they've had. So maybe that's not a bad strategy for the Coyotes. It's just to kick it down there, and if it goes out, it goes out. If it doesn't, they're still in good shape. So sticking with that I formation here are the Greyhounds. Coyotes put 5 on the line. It's going to be a toss to the right. Better job on the edge there by the Coyotes. Defender, I think it was Lane Ward that last time. That guy took that unfortunate step inside on his block. He learned his lesson. He hit hard on the outside. That block forced him to cut back in, and he was taken down by a swarm of Coyotes. No gain on the play. That'll be the end of the first quarter. Let me see what I can do about getting some of these highlights up for y'all in the kind of break here. So, and maybe halftime before I can get these highlights up for you, but we'll get them there so you can kind of watch what's been going on if you're unable to. All right, so we're going to start the second quarter. Strawn rolling out to the right, looking deep again, and just a little bit off. Really good coverage there by all right, so incomplete on the play. I think that was. It's hard from up here sometimes to tell the difference between 0 and 8. Well, Etheridge and Deeds, they're about the same size, both good athletes. Numbers, sometimes it's hard to see if it's 8 or 0, but one of those was on the coverage here. I formation, 3rd and 15 at their own 29-yard line. Greyhounds snap it, toss it, going right. And he's swarmed under. You had Etheridge coming up from that safety spot, and then you had Rush Norris and Ethan Deeds kind of coming up and finishing off the play. And slow to get up is the running back for the Greyhounds. Officials have waved. He's going to have to come off the field. He did get up, kind of limping a little bit on the way off, but looks like it's probably something he can shake off. Gain of 1 on the play. It's going to be 4th and 14 now on their own 30-yard line. Greyhounds trying to figure out who they want to send in for the injured player. Big chance for the Coyotes to get a big stop here. All right, it looks like we have got a timeout on the field. That's going to be another timeout by the Greyhounds. The big play in front of them. 30 to 8. I mean, you're on your own 30-yard line. 4th and 14. That's a tough one to go for. Because you give up a score here now, I mean, you're down 30 with an extra point. If you punt it away and you're able to get a stop, I guess it just depends on how confident you are in your defense being able to get a stop, which I couldn't fault them much right now if they're not super confident in that. Coyotes have done a good job kind of figuring out what's working offensively now and been getting a lot of green grass to run around in. But shotgun formation, here's the snap, going to drop back to pass. And under a lot of pressure again. Perry back there pressuring him. And incomplete. Tries to dump it off to a back. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. Deeds was all over him on the coverage. Even if he'd have caught it, he'd have been down. Diving attempt at a catch. And the Coyotes get another stop on defense and will take over at the Greyhound 30-yard line. So, big time there. Well done by the Coyote defense there. Now go punch it in, and they start wondering if you get to 45 by half. All right, shotgun toss to Etheridge, fumbled, scooped up, but he's going to be taken down way back, all the way back at his own 33-yard line. That's going to be a loss of 18 on that play. Well, now they're going to call it 19 at the 31. So, 2nd and 34 coming up. That's not ideal. That's kind of the one difficulty the Coyotes have had. They've had a couple of those that have just balls on the ground, a couple on pitches, and then one on a snap. Just not as clean and sharp as you'd like. Shotgun formation, 2 right, 1 left. Pistol. Etheridge behind Deeds. They're going to toss it to Etheridge. He's going to try and get around to the Coyote sideline. If he does, there's a ton of room out there. He's just going to stay down the sideline, get a couple of blocks, and he's he's all the way down the sideline into the end zone. A couple of Coyotes did a great job. There's new rules where you can't forcibly block going back toward your own goal line. I didn't see the receiver. It might have been Hutchins down deep here, who really needed to make that last block, and he came up and he did a good job. He just kind of put his hands on him just enough to get in the way and slow him down. He had a kill shot lined up, but this is old school football. So 36-8, the extra point here. Here's the snap, hold, kick, and good. 38-8. Your Richland Springs Coyotes in the lead, 8:10 to go in this second quarter. Yeah, I kind of had a weird situation on that. I kind of stalled out on my announcing there because there was a Greyhound over there really unblocked. He was the only one that could make the play, and it was almost like he thought he stepped out of bounds or was going to step out of bounds, and so he kind of just eased up, it looked like, and he didn't go out of bounds. He wasn't ever close to stepping out, so I don't really know what exactly happened there, but definitely to the benefit of the Coyotes. Ooh, see, I almost said Coyotes. I hope I haven't said that some other time. I'm trying, guys. I don't know. I live most of my life in the Panhandle. Most people say Coyotes up there, so it's kind of ingrained in me, so you're going to have to give me a pass on it. I try my best to keep it all straightened out. All right, so the Coyotes lined up to kick off. A little pooch kick. It's going to hit and be fielded. Oh, nope, not fielded, and it looks like the Coyotes are going to have that ball. Oh, he's going to call him. I think that's a scoreboard call there. Greyhound fell on the ball at his own 25, and then it popped right out. I wouldn't say he ever had possession, and a Coyote came and fell on the ball, but they're going to say he was down before the ball popped out, and the Greyhounds will take over on their own 25-yard line. All right, staying with that I formation, all the Greyhounds, one to each side, I formation behind the quarterback, under center. Here's the snap. Here's the toss going left, and good Lord. There's Perry and Etheridge just immediately into the backfield. 2-yard loss on that play. And they had success one time on that play, and that's been it. Again, Ward out there really kind of figured out his mistake on the one play and has really set a hard edge every other time they've tried to run that, and the inside-out pursuit has been really good there. Same formation offensively, sticking with the eye. Probably get a bootleg here if I was going to guess. And I'm wrong. It's a handoff up the middle, and the legs get cut out right after a gain of 2, looks like, by, turn around so I can see your number, Rush Norris. But we got a flag on the play. Got a personal foul face mask on the Coyotes. It must have been someone taking on a block. It was not the running back because he got tackled around his ankles, but apparently someone got a little bit of handful of iron in there. That's going to move him up to the midfield and give the Greyhounds a first down by penalty. So it'll be all right. Coyotes been solid defensively here. Down to about 7 minutes to go here. Here's the snap, shotgun here, and a quick little pass just to the flats, and it's over the head of the receiver. That's going to be incomplete. 2nd and 15 upcoming at midfield. Had a man open. Probably going to get about 10 yards out of that if he's able to hit him, but he is not. If any of y'all are upset that I didn't sign up for the video stream, no one's more upset than myself. I really am kicking it. Oh, and here's a pass attempt. Incomplete again. Out in the flat. Still no one there. Anyway, as I was saying, no one is kicking themselves more than me for not having applied for the video broadcast. I assumed every state semifinal would be eaten up by NFHS since every other round has been, but for some reason they didn't have anyone out here to do this one, and I wish I had, but that's water under the bridge. We're doing what we can with what we have. Shotgun snap. A run to the left, and, man, I think that was, we got Ward, Evan Deeds, and Rush Norris in on the tackle there. I think his Etheridge came in like a missile and just blew up the lead blocker back into the back and stopped him dead in his tracks. He didn't make the tackle, but he pushed him back. That's going to be 4th and 16 now. Greyhounds in that shotgun, one right, one left, two backs in the backfield. Here's a snap, going to drop straight back to pass. He's got pressure on him. Can't run. He's moving up, but he cannot run on the play. Dumps it off on the Coyote sideline, and that's going to be a first down and more. Deeds to beat, and he is going to beat him. He's going to get all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. Greyhounds there. Coyote defender made the kind of difficult decision. Quarterback came close enough that he tried to go get him and left his man, and it got dumped over his head, and that man takes it into the end zone for a Greyhound touchdown. 38-14 now. Extra point pending. All right, so ball's ready for play here for the extra point. Here's the snap, hold, kick, and off the upright, no good. Right off the left upright, 38-14 remains the score in favor of the Coyotes. 6:04 to go in this second quarter. All right, so a break there after the touchdown for the Coyotes. Keep a 24-point lead, so a clean 3-scored lead there. Even if you give up 3 scores and extra points, you can't give up the lead that way. So that's a good good play there in favor of the Coyotes. All right, so Strawn at least initially putting everyone over to the right on the kickoff here. Coyotes will kind of match that. I would not kick it straight to 0 like he did last time. Looks like this could be more of a traditional onside kick attempt here, and it is. And it's going to be fielded by Etheridge. Gets tripped up, tried to start working back towards his own sideline, and just had a Greyhound just get enough of him to take him down. If he doesn't do it there, he may be running down the Coyote sideline for another touchdown here. But football's a game of inches, and the inches slanted in favor of the Greyhounds that time. All right, so play is out, huddled up. Shotgun formation, 2 right, 1 left. Toss back to Etheridge. Flips it out to Deeds. He's got a ton of room. That's a first down. 20. Cuts back and down to the 15 or 14-yard line. Second time they've kind of done that there. Kind of tasted the Greyhounds' own medicine there. Deeds has tossed it back to Etheridge and then just leaked out into a flat. No one covering him. About easy a first down as you'll find in this game. First and goal from the 15-yard line. Under center now, 2 right, 1 left. 1 back deep. It's going to be a toss to him. He's going to get the edge out here. Good pursuit, though, by the Greyhounds. He's going to get about 4 yards on that play. This is Etheridge before he's taken down. Got the edge initially, but again, that's where you can kind of tell that Strawn is a little higher quality of opponent than maybe some other teams that the Coyotes have played. They're able to kind of take some angles and go make plays to a degree. Coyotes still making plenty of big plays, but there is resistance there. So back to the shotgun. 2 right, 1 left, pistol formation. Here's the toss back to Etheridge, and he's just going to run up the middle. He's got a lot of room. He's going to cut down, and he's going to be tackled. Fascinating spot. All right, he's going to be tackled at the 3. 3rd and goal from that 3-yard line now for the Coyotes. I don't know if that was designed to be a run right after he caught that or if he just saw a big lane open up, but he did have a lot of room. Tried to bounce it back out of the middle there. Got his legs cut out from under him. But good play. All right. Coyotes in an I formation under center. Here's the snap. Drops back to pass. He's not finding anybody right now. He's got a man, and it's intercepted in the end zone. Going to bring it out to the 4-yard line. I think he had him initially, didn't see him right away, and defense was able to close up enough space to where they could get the interception there. So, Greyhounds will take over on their own 4. Coyotes have been just fine defensively, just a few big plays, and that last one, I think, and he probably got coaches up on the sideline. You know, it was a direct snap to the quarterback. He couldn't run on that play, so probably best to just leave him and not come off your man, and I'm sure they talked about that on the sideline. Here's the shotgun snap and a toss back to the quarterback. Perry looking to try and create some pressure there. Throws it downfield over the head of the receiver. Incomplete. 2nd and 15, again at their own 4-yard line for the Greyhounds. Been high on a lot of passes. Have the Greyhounds just ball sailing a little bit on their quarterback and making it difficult to get that passing game going. And the only real success they've had in the passing game has just been those little dump-offs. All right, Greyhounds come to the line, sticking in that shotgun. 1 right, 1 left, 2 backs in the backfield. Here's the snap. Toss back to the quarterback. He's got pressure. That's Evan Deeds. Oh, and that's a fumble into the end zone and still bouncing around. And it looks like it's going to be recovered by, I can't tell who that was. That is a
16.
Well, yeah, I think it actually went out the back of the end zone. It went into the, looks like that's going to be a safety. It went into the 11-man end zone, which of course is out the back of the 6-man end zone. So that's going to be a safety, a fumble out the back of that end zone, and a safety, 2 points for the Coyotes, which that's kind of funny because I've called 2 Coyote games, and somehow we've ended up with a safety in both, which is not the most common play in the game of football. And as I said last time, I think a safety is the most brutal play in the game of football because now you got to give the ball back. It's the only time that you score or that the other team scores on you, and then you have to give the ball back to them. And that is just so brutal. I don't disagree with it. I think that, you should never get a safety as an offense. Like, it's a pretty bad play by the offense, so it makes sense that you get kind of double punished for it, give up points, and have to give the ball away. But even as such, it's still really tough. 40-14 in favor of your Coyotes, 3:35 to go before half. Greyhounds all lined up on the right side for the kickoff again. Looks like we're going to get that same kind of onside kick attempt. Here it is. It's going to take some slow bounces, and that's not going to make it. That's going to go off the Greyhounds before it ever got the required yardage. So that'll be Coyote ball at worst at the 30-yard line of the Greyhounds. So it looks like they're going to spot it at the 30-yard line of the Greyhounds. Coyotes will take over. 1st and 15 there, leading 40-14, 3:32 to go in the shotgun formation. 2 to the right. Pistol, you got to back next to the quarterback and back deep. Here's the snap, and they toss back to Etheridge. Got a flag. Etheridge taking it off the right side, gaining about 5 yards and getting stacked up. It'll be a gain of 6. We'll see if the play stands with the penalty. Unfortunately, usually when that guy throws it, it's holding, but we'll wait for the call. Personal foul. Okay, illegal low block on the offense. So that's worse. That's going to make it 1st and 30 for the Coyotes. Got some Strawn fans getting awful rowdy out there. Hear their chant, their "You can't do that" chant through the glass here. I haven't heard much of anything, but I heard that. So, back to their own 35-yard line go the Coyotes. It'll be 1st and 30 from there. Ball will be on the left hash. Hasn't been much of a challenge to pick up chunk yardage here. Shotgun to the right. Same formation as they just had. Toss back to Etheridge going right. And he's just going to tuck it and run to the left. And he's going to get all that yardage back. That penalty is just about moot because he got 1 yard shy of where he got on the previous play down to the 25-yard line of the Greyhounds. It's going to be 2nd and 10 from there. So good play there by Etheridge to kind of nullify that penalty, get 20 yards back, and get it back on schedule for the offense. This ball still on the left hash. 2nd and 10. Snap to Etheridge. Tosses back to Deeds. We've got a flag and a false start on the Coyotes. So 2nd and 15 now. So back to the 30-yard line, the original line of scrimmage, 2nd and 15. So after all this, we basically just have the equivalent of first down being an incomplete pass. Tell you what, the Coyote huddle is way, way back there. I don't know. It's 15 yards behind the ball. Play clock ticking down. And looks like we've got a timeout. Oh, 2 minute. 2 minute timeout here. Coyotes lead by 26. All right, so yeah, you don't mind a big play for a touchdown, but it wouldn't be so bad either to, chew up some clock here and get into the end zone without leaving much on the plate for the Greyhounds. You'd also like to stop kind of shooting yourself in the foot, too. It's been a few penalties here in this first half. Got a couple of false starts, a few face masks, the low block, just things that have kind of put you in a hole or gotten the Greyhounds out of a jam. And, I know as a coach you'd like to get all that kind of cleaned up, and I'm sure that's something they're working on. All right, so it looks like we're going to be under center, 1 to each side. Receiver split way wide to the right, 2 in the backfield, and it's going to be a toss back to Etheridge. He's going to dump it off to Hutchins, who's got a ton of room in front of him. He's going to get close to first down. He's going to break a tackle and get the first down. Great second effort there. Got stacked up right at the line by 2 defenders and just dove through them to get an extra half yard that he needed. And it is going to be 1st and goal from the 14.5-yard line. Clock running down to 1:40 here. I know y'all got the scoreboard. I just say that stuff out of habit still. All right. Going to be under center here. Same formation, wide right we've got. Here's the toss back to, and here's a completion to Perry in the middle of the field there. He's going to be taken out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Kind of slugged down really late out of bounds, but they'll let him play on. So that will stop the clock with 1:16 to go. Second and goal from the 6. All right. Same formation again. Wide receiver right. Oh, and it looks like we've got a timeout, Coyotes. Oh, looks like they'll talk about it. Take a break and just want, again, you see them there on your screen. Just, again, thank these sponsors if you see them. And do some business with them if you need that kind of business. But Marcus Wood, your attorney at law over in San Saba. Hamrick's Automotive Center over in San Saba. Dalton Moats, Diamond M Dorpers, and Michael and Kimbra Hobbs. And there's always expenses for all this stuff, and grateful to get those covered by them so we can bring this to you. All right. So, offense back out on the field. Staying with that same formation here. Here's the snap. Toss back to Etheridge. He's going to find some space up the middle. Cut it back to the Coyote sideline. He's going to duck into the corner of the end zone, it looks like. And it's a touchdown. So, I'll push the Coyotes to 46 points with the extra point pending. 1:08 to go in this first half. Currently sitting at a 32-point lead. Extra point team coming on out. Getting set. Ball's ready for play. Here's snap, hold, kick. And good. Like I said, that one extra point, he just got under a little bit. Everything else has been straight down the middle. Nice strong kicks. 48-14, 34-point lead, just over a minute to go before halftime. You got to feel pretty good if you're rooting for these Coyotes in this game. Pretty smooth sailing, all things considered so far. Like we said, not always the cleanest. A few more penalties than you'd like to have. A few big plays given up, but you've more than made up for it with your own big plays on both sides of the ball. So everything going about as well as you could probably hope for as a Coyote fan. All right, here's the kick. Deep down the middle, low kick, and that's going to go through the end zone. It's the first one of these we've seen this game. That's a touchback. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. Greyhounds will take over from there. No time comes off the clock, so still at that 1:08. Yeah, we'll see about getting those highlights up at halftime here, and we have a little bit more time to go through them. All right, snap, the shotgun, dropping back to pass, looking to hit a post across the middle, and well defended by, that is Deeds back there. Good recovery. Receiver had a little bit of a step, but Deeds kind of put the pedal down and closed the space and knocked that ball away at the last second. 2nd and 15 at the 20-yard line. Ball right in the middle of the field after the touchback. All right, shotgun formation again. 2 right, 1 left, back in the backfield, drops straight back to pass, getting some pressure from Perry up the middle. And he's going to get taken down for a sack back at the 3-yard line. 51 seconds and ticking. Quarterback is down for the Greyhounds. He got slung down pretty hard on that play. Initially fought him off, but Perry doing a great job of keeping a hold of him. And yeah, he looks, they're getting him off, and he's walking off under his own power, but definitely in some pain. Don't know what's going on there, and I'm not going to speculate, but 49 seconds here. We'll see if they roll this clock after the injury, because if they do, if I'm the Coyotes, I'm going to call a timeout here. It's 3rd and 27 back at their own 3-yard line. There's a number of things that could happen here, and I think pretty much all of them are good, except for one. And you can get another safety, or you get a tackle that basically forces them to punt the ball. So we'll see. And they are going to roll the clock. Looks like for right now the Coyotes will not call a timeout. All right, shotgun formation here, and the Greyhounds are going to snap it with plenty of time on the clock. A rush. He's under pressure, and we'll see. No, he does not complete the pass. Under pressure from Evan Deeds and Rush Norris. That's the backup quarterback, and probably, to be honest, probably threw the most accurate pass of the evening for him. It was a little bit low, catchable, but not caught, and it looks like they've got their starting quarterback back in the game. So 4th and 27 from their own 3-yard line, 30 seconds to go before the halftime buzzer, and we'll see what plays out here. Shotgun formation, 2 right, 1 left, back to the right of the quarterback, and he's going to drop back to pass. He's got pressure on him, dumps it to the running back, and the Coyotes are all over it this time. You got Perry and can't tell if that's a 16. That's Lane Ward in there on that play. So, all right. Coyotes take over, 23 seconds to go. 4 yards to pay dirt. 1st and goal. Coyotes have done a great job of coming up big on these 4th down plays. Getting the ball back with great field position. Can't ask for a shorter field than 4 yards to go. They're going to be under center in that offset eye to the right. Here's the snap. Here's the handoff to the fullback. He's going to be stopped about a half-yard shy. I can't tell who that fullback was. We'll see. Gets up off the pile. He's being hugged by his teammates. That's Perry. Perry, the fullback in that formation, gets 3 yards down to the 1, and looks like that's a timeout by the Coyotes. That's the only thing that makes sense right there. Yes. So timeout, Coyotes. That'll leave them with 1 remaining. They still have the 1. Um, 1 yard to go to break the 50-point mark in the first half. If you score 8 here, all of a sudden you're up 42 points. Which does mean, barring complete disaster for the Greyhounds, you do come back out for the 3rd quarter. Greyhounds do get the ball first, but that obviously puts you 1 score away from being able to hit the showers a little early and start planning for that trip to Arlington. So everyone's back out on the field waiting to signal the ball ready. It is ready. Same formation here for the Coyotes. It's going to be a toss right to Etheridge, who's going to put his nose down and just bowl through a defender into the end zone. And that's what you like to see out of your running backs. That's what you like to see out of them. Just, down that goal line, if you don't see an easy path in, and just bury that face mask into someone's chest and punch it in, and that's what he does there. 54-14, Coyotes, 13 seconds to go before half, looking to push the lead to 42 points. Here's a snap, hold, kick, and right down the middle again. 56, to 14. All right, so interesting to see what you do here. Do you try and onside it and see if maybe you can get you one more play here before they get the ball back, get one more play, get in the end zone and put it into this thing by halftime? Or do you play it conservative and kick it deep and let it go to half and try and put it into it early on in the second half? I'm pretty aggressive. I'd probably kick the onside kick. That's just me. Kick it onside, try and go get it, and try and put that last nail in and maybe go eat a chicken fried steak and go home. That doesn't sound so bad. I might have to find somewhere who does a chicken fried steak here in town. Speaking of chicken fried steak, Strawn has one of the best chicken fried steaks in their town that you'll find. If you've never been to Mary's in Strawn, if you ever find yourself in Strawn, which I know the odds are not great, but if you ever do find yourself there, stop by there and get a chicken fried steak. That's kind of world famous. All right, here's the kickoff here for the Coyotes. Kind of a little pooch kick, pretty deep, fumbled by the return man. He's going to pick it up and get stacked up real quick at his own 15. He's going to drag defenders, though, out to the 19-yard line. 3 seconds to go in this half.
Just get a safety and then make a touchdown. Who has the ball?
Greyhounds are kind of huddled up there for a little bit. Maybe they got a little bit of a trick play that they can go to. Maybe not. Maybe they try one and the Coyote defense gets some points and takes us to the chicken fried. Who knows? All right, under center, 2 to the right, 2 backs in the backfield. One kind of a slot to the left, one deep. Here's a snap. Dropping back to pass. They try and throw it back across the field. It is completed on the Greyhound sideline, but he's going to be tackled by Etheridge, falling back on it. Deeds making him cut back, and that's going to be the end of this first half. 56-14 in favor of. Yep. All right, so great first half here by the Coyotes. I'm going to probably be a little bit quiet while I try and get these highlights uploaded. All right, everyone, I am back. Took me a minute. I did. It's probably currently still posting, but posted a reel on Facebook with, I think probably 15, 16 plays from the first half for highlights. So if you want to see any of the action and you haven't gotten to, it's up there. So we've got 3 minutes left here in this halftime. Coyotes are back out on the sideline, circled up and getting some stretching in, getting ready to go for ready to go for this second half. Hope the Coyotes come out and execute and rip off a really good start to this second half and send everyone home happy.
Who has the ball? Greyhounds.
And once again, thank you to our sponsors, Marcus Wood, Attorney at Law, Hamrick's Automotive Center, Dalton Moats and Diamond Endorpers, and Michael and Kimbra Hobbs for bringing this to you. I personally thank my kiddos here. They've done a pretty good job. If you know my kids, I've got Eli running the time on the scoreboard. I got Aaron running everything else about the scoreboard, and then Joshua's shooting the video for us to get the highlights uploaded for you. So, oh, and Eli says he's doing the quarters too. So, kind of a family effort here tonight. I usually don't bring them all, but Mom's out of town today, so I found jobs for all of them, and it's worked out pretty well. They've done a good job, so. And they haven't yelled or anything. I don't think I've heard them too much over the mics, so I guess I'll buy them dinner after this. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I do have a choice. That's not true. So Strawn is taking the field in their kickoff return formation here to start this second half. Looks like they're going to go ahead and cut off that last minute or so of halftime. Coyotes ready to kick the ball. Got Perry there is the kicker.
I put third. You switched it.
And here's the kick, a bouncer, and it's going to go out of bounds. Again, the Coyotes trying that again. Just it's a little kind of low bouncer to the right, trying to just turn it into a foot race to get to the ball first. And they were close that time, but does dribble out of bounds. The ball's going to be at the 31-yard line of the Greyhounds. Ball will be on the left hash. So that's where the Greyhounds will take over to start the second half. And again, that's really no worse than the field position you were giving up earlier. So under center, two to the right, two backs in the backfield. It's going to be toss going left. He's going to look to throw it. He's under a little bit of pressure, finds a little bit of room to run as well. Being chased out of bounds by Etheridge after a gain of 10. It'll be second and, actually a gain of 9. It'll be second and 6 right at midfield for the Greyhounds. Good job closing there by Etheridge, minimizing the damage. Had a lot of green grass there for a minute. All right, so under center to the right to split backfield. Again, a toss to the left under a lot of pressure this time, and he's going to get taken down by Perry in the backfield for a 7-yard loss. be 3rd and 13 now for the Greyhounds. So tried kind of I don't know if the routes were the same, but the backfield action was the same on that play, and the Coyotes did a much better job that go around of getting off their blocks and really putting some pressure on him. He really had no chance at all. All right, so under center, here's the pitch back to the quarterback under a lot of pressure from Norris and Ward, but he gets the pass completed, and it's going to be close to a first down. It's going to be a yard shy. It's going to be at the 35-yard line of the Coyotes, and there's going to be a 4th and 1 play coming up. We all saw what happened on 4th and 1 in the first half where the Coyote defense stood strong, and they'll hope to do that again here to open this second half. Again, ball on the Coyote 35, left hash. All right, see how it goes here. And a timeout by the Greyhounds coaching staff. They were going to be under center there in the same formation, decided to take a timeout and think about it. Really is a heck of a setting for a football game here. It's really nicely done by Stephenville over here. I think I saw that it was like a $35 million project. So you can tell it's really well done. They really leaned into the, like a lot of the stuff is like honeycombed and everything in here. A lot of the design and stuff. You see a lot of that. The tiles, kind of that honeycomb tile. Kind of leaning into that yellow jacket type stuff. It's pretty neat. It's really well done. Really cool. All right, so big play here as both teams take the field again. Looks like they will be under center. They're going to go back to that I formation they used so much in the first half. 1 yard to go for a first down. Here's the snap. And it's going to be a sprint out by the quarterback, and they leak a player out into the flats. He's being pursued by Etheridge, who is going to, looks like, take him out of bounds just shy of the end zone. Tried to punch the ball out. It's going to be 1st and goal at the 1 yard line. So kind of a little sprint out and just leaked the player out into the flats. Looks like the Coyotes kind of sold out to try and go get into the backfield and make a stop there, and weren't able to get to the quarterback before he could find the open man. So, again, first and goal from the 1 yard line. 8:23 to go in this third quarter. Staying with that I formation are the Greyhounds. Here's the snap and a toss to the left, and he's going to find the end zone. So, touchdown for the Greyhounds. I'll push them to 20 points. Score is 56-20 with the extra point coming.
Who's clicking it? It keeps on going up and down. You did that to me too.
All right. Taking our time getting lined up here, but I think we're ready for it now. And it is blocked. I really felt like the Coyotes had been close to that a couple of times. Weren't able to get a hand on it, but they do that one. Everyone come up the middle. I'm not sure who got a hold of it, but a lot of pressure up the middle on that kick, and so it'll stay 56-20, a 36-point lead.
Coyotes are gonna make a touchdown.
All right, so again, 36-point lead here for the Coyotes. Kickoff teams kind of leisurely making their way on the field. Again, sponsors Marcus Wood, attorney at law, Hamrick's Automotive Center, Dalton Moats and Diamond Inn Dorpers, and Michael and Kimber Hobbs. Again, tell them thank you, see them out and about. Take your cars over to Hamrick's, take your legal business over to Marcus. Then your livestock needs over to Dalton, I suppose. All right, so looking like this kind of onside kick to the right again for the Greyhounds. And they're going to switch it up and kick it back to the left, and that's fielded by, looks like Perry over there. Fielded cleanly, gains about 5 on the return. A good job by him. Greyhounds try and get a little tricky with it. Bring a different player across to do an onside kick over to the left where the Coyotes only had one player, but Perry does his job over there and sets the Coyotes up at midfield for their first possession of the second half. Lining up for the play. Looks like they're going to be under center. 2 split out wide, 1 to each side. Coming up back in a deep back, and the toss goes back to Etheridge, and he's going to find some space and bounce it to the right. Not going to step out of bounds. Going to go all the way across the first down line. He's going to get that line to gain, and it's going to be a 1st and 15 after a gain of 15 all the way down to the Greyhound 25. Ball will be on the right hash. So good start to the drive there. 1 play, a first down, and everything's moving along. I can't ever tell sometimes if those tosses are straight run plays or if he just catches it and immediately sees an opening and just decides to pull it down. Same formation here under center. Here's the toss back to Etheridge. He's looking to throw this one, but it looks like we're going to get a false start again on the Coyotes before the play. Too, with these false starts, I will say they're not particularly like egregious. They're not super obvious. I haven't actually caught any of them myself when they've thrown the flag. I haven't ever been like, oh, well, that's a false start on this kid. I haven't really seen it. So same formation back under center. Here's the toss back to Etheridge. And he's going to scramble off the right side. He's going to find a lot of space. Cut up inside of one player, and he's going to have another first down. He's going to be all the way down close to the 5-yard line. They're going to mark him out at the 6. That's going to be 1st and goal for the Coyotes there. Strawn, they're kind of stuck on those plays where they toss it back to Etheridge and kind of let him pick and choose what he wants to do. You can tell that they've tried rushing him really aggressively. That hadn't worked. On those, they've tried on that one, they tried to kind of hang back and see if they could make a play, maybe make him throw it. But then the Coyotes are getting such good blocking, I think, from Perry and Deeds there that it's not mattering. They're 2 rushers. They're just blocking them and giving him a lane. So here's a snap, same formation. He's going to look to throw. He's going to go to the right, and he is going to walk into the end zone. Gets touched right at the last second, but an easy score for Etheridge on the right side. On the Coyote sideline. Another touchdown, push the score to 62-20. And if they can get this extra point, they'll push the lead to 44. All right. So all lined up for the kick, just waiting on the snap. Here it is. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up. And again, right down the middle. So 64-20 for the Coyotes. 7:09 to go in this third quarter. Again, a reminder, if you check my Facebook page, I did post first half highlights there. I think there were about 16 plays or so there. Put them all in a reel together. So that's kind of the best I can do without doing live videos to give you something to watch there. By the way, another thing is, need to block these accounts. You get a lot of these accounts that say they're NFHS, whatever, Texas, and all kinds of stuff on Facebook that'll comment and say, oh, the stream's here. Just in case you don't, know, NFHS doesn't do that. They don't go around posting where games can be streamed at. So anytime you see one of those, that's a spam account. Make sure you don't click on it. I'd say report them, but Facebook doesn't do anything about anything, so reporting them's not going to do any good. But you can block them. Here's the kickoff by the Coyotes. That's a high kick down the Coyote sideline. It's fielded at around the 15. Going to try and find some room around the sideline. And, fumbles, but it goes out of bounds. That was Ward on the tackle that forced the fumble, but lucky break for the Greyhounds as it popped straight out of bounds. They'll take over on their own 22-yard line. All right. Under center, I formation. Here's the snap. Handoff right up the middle, and he's stacked up, going nowhere. So we had Rush Norris and Etheridge, and then I think Evan Deeds in on that tackle. All right, under center again, I formation here. Another handoff up the middle, and another play with nowhere to go. Etheridge Norris and Ethan Deeds in on that tackle. 3rd and 16 upcoming here. Ball kind of towards the left hash, not all the way over there, kind of in between the center of the field and the left hash. Big defensive possession here. Coyotes get a stop, any score of any kind, puts this one to bed. So, shotgun now. 1 right, 1 wide left, 2 in the backfield. Here's the snap. A toss back to the quarterback. He's eligible to run or pass. Pressure up the middle from Perry, and he's going to take him down back inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. So now that's going to be 4th and a country mile. Let's see. 10, 15, about 33. Call it 33. It is 33. Look at my math. My math is mathing. All right, and we've got a timeout here by... I don't know, I didn't see who they signaled it on. Those Greyhounds already took a timeout. So I don't know who called that one. They haven't marked it off on the scoreboard either. So, obviously this play is essentially the game here. Coyotes get a stop here. They're going to take it over with anywhere from good to excellent field position, depending on where they make the tackle. Greyhounds are out, lined up, ready to run a play. Coyotes are still huddled up on the sideline. Here they come out. Take the field. They're going to be in the shotgun, 1 right, 1 wide left, 2 backs in the backfield, and now they're going to motion the running back out wide right. So it's going to be a straight drop back, low snap, fumbled, and it looks like it's going to be picked up by, goodness. All right, so it's picked up by the Greyhounds, then fumbled out the back of the end zone. That's going to be 2 points. That's going to be your 45, and that's going to be game over for your Coyotes. They're going to state again. Chance to put a ring on the other thumb. Going on their 10th championship. They're going to play for it on December 17th at 2 p.m. Let me read off that information for you one more time on this broadcast. Make sure everyone's got it. And I get to it. All right, so attention high school football fans, don't miss out on the opportunity to be a part of Texas football history. Mark your calendars for the UIL State Football Championships, December 17th through 20th at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, where the best teams from 6-man to 6A leave it all on the field in the hopes of being named champion. For the latest updates and ticket information, head over to uiltexas.org/football. Again, that's uiltexas.org/football. So your final 66-20, your Richland Springs Coyotes again winning this state semifinal matchup, headed to Arlington in 2 weeks, week and a half, I guess, to go play for it all once again. I know when the Steelers played for their 5th Super Bowl several years ago, they called it one for the thumb. We'll call it one for the other thumb. Chance to get into double digits in the trophy case for the Coyotes. And well done tonight, too. That's a quality team they played. Like I said, their score against Gordon was about the same for both teams. So I was curious to see how it would play out tonight, but obviously played out tremendously in favor of the Coyotes. So I'm going to get a few second half highlights up here. While I'm getting those ready, I'll keep just kind of talking about some things. So, okay, so something important. I hope people are still out there listening. So, on that state championship note, I'm willing to do an audio broadcast. I think it'd be kind of fun. I will say, most people don't know this. So Victory Plus, it's an app. If you watch the Rangers game, if you're Texas Rangers fans, they carry the Rangers. They also carry Dallas Stars games for free. They charge for the Rangers games. That's not fair, but they're an app, and they actually have the rights to do the video for the state championship games. And last I saw, those were actually going to be free on that app. So it's going to be kind of up to sponsors and up to fans what y'all want. If y'all want me to go do a radio broadcast at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, I'd be more than happy to do so. If everyone's content watching the game for free on Victory Plus, which is a great deal, then I'll stay at home and I'll watch the game just like everybody else. So if you want to comment on a video, go send me a message, whatever. I'll go if y'all want me to. If y'all don't care and you're all going to watch the game, which, I mean, I would, but it depends on what everybody wants. If you don't want to download an app, another app, and everything like that, then I'll do an audio broadcast if y'all would like. So just kind of start letting me know if you kind of like to listen to these things and you want me to do it, and we'll go from there. But, again, another huge Coyote win here. Big time for the program after a couple of years of not being where they wanted to be. Some good sportsmanship there. I believe that's Etheridge. He had a Greyhound just kind of, as you do when your season's over. I'm sure he's a senior, just kind of squatting down around the 10-yard line, having a hard time with it all. It is hard. It's always hard when you know that that's the last time you're going to get to do that. So Etheridge running over there and kind of giving him a pat on the back, and you like to see that sort of stuff. So again, start letting me know if y'all wanted me to do an audio broadcast. If y'all want me to, I will. But yeah, again, Coyotes punched their ticket to Arlington. I'll get the phone I was doing the highlights on died, so as soon as I get some juice back in it, I'll post a few highlights from the second half. It wasn't very long, but we got a few good plays in there. So I'll post those and have those up for you to view on Facebook. Thanks again for listening in with me. I appreciate it. One more time, thank you to our sponsors, Marcus Wood, Hamrick's Automotive Center, Dalton Moats, and Michael and Kimbra Hobbs. We appreciate it. We're glad we could do this for y'all. And if you're traveling to Arlington on the 17th, stay safe and go Coyotes.